r/askreddit. What the worst I don't fit in here experience you've ever had? Wanted to learn to play guitar. Found out about a class for beginner sessions for adults. Call up. They say yeah, come along, we have a mixed group and we will see you in the morn. Great. Turn up to this little church-like building and head in. Guy says you must be me 27-28 at time. Take a seat and we will get going in a min. Please note I'm first to arrive and the seats were tiny, but I didn't think anything of it at the time. Just assumed it was what was available. Next min, a group of small children rush in and take their places, about 5-6 years old, with their guitars. Teacher starts taking the lesson. I'm OBV feeling awkward as I'm like Tom Hanks in Big and wanting to get out as soon as possible but too polite to just get up and walk out. Teacher then announces that we will be getting up on stage at the end to show what we've learned. Please note all these little shits are 10x better than me, but I'm committed now and maybe it won't be so bad. Until the door opens and all of the parents walk in to watch the show. So there I was, sitting on a little chair with my knees higher than my head, strumming along to some tune I couldn't play, surrounded by 5-6-year-old and parents looking at me with that face you know wants to laugh. Edit. Now just woke up to a ton of notifications. Only this week have I received my first silver and now I have more golds and silvers. Many thanks. So I read all of your comments and had a good laugh along the way through listening to your stories. A few answers for you guys. Mixed group. No idea how this went from mixed to a group of 5-6-year-olds, but I didn't want to say anything at the end as the kids' parents were still there. I just wanted to get out of there as quickly possible. Did I carry on? With that group? No way. With guitar? Kind of, but not really. I can play a couple of easy bits now but didn't really stick it through, so it was all for nothing anyway. The story, yeah, was really embarrassing at the time. The look of one particular parent is engraved into my soul, like a mixture of trying to hold laugh and you fucked up. I can't wait to tell my mates about this. It's never failed to give people a laugh when I've told them about it, and I'm glad it has made you guys a smile, lol. That was pretty inconsiderate of them to say it's a mixed group, when really it's just a bunch of kids. As soon as they saw you they should have let you know the situation. And to have you play for strangers at the end was just dragging the awkwardness out. I'm in my late 20s and going to the same clothing stores I've been going to for over a decade. Seeing 12-plus-year-old girls. Feeling lost, not knowing where to shop. My casual clothes have literally not changed since I was a teen. My professional wardrobe is so different from my casual clothes that it looks like two different guys in my closet. I once interviewed for a job and was taken around the office to meet everyone and see how things worked, but it was one of those types of places where they do morning cheers. Everyone is ultra peppy and cutthroat. It was a sales job with competitive territories, and the energy was just too much. As an introverted, laid-back and uncompetitive worker, I 100% did not belong in that environment. Honest question. How do you manage to build a career in sales being introverted? Went on the company ski trip, which sounds posher than it actually is, and we have to pay for it out of our wages. Had to sit on a dinner table with the heads of the company and some other high-up people from different companies, and the stuff they were talking about in terms of leisure activities were well out of my league. When you try to join the conversation and you get a patronizing smile from one of them who doesn't engage you, conversation has a strange effect on you. Finished my dinner and fucked off to the bar. If you're paying for it out of your wages, it's not a company ski trip, it's your own ski trip that your company is invading, lol. Reminds me of a job interview I had once during my senior year of college. They took all the candidates to a group dinner with some partners in the firm. It was there I learned that all the candidates were in Ivy League schools and I was the only candidate from a public university. The meal was easily $100 plus per person. One of the candidates was president of Harvard's wine club, or something of that sort. They were talking about everything from wine pairings, caviars, and riding camels in Morocco. One partner at the firm mentioned how she likes to stay for the credits during films so she can see the names of her friends pop up. All her friends did that apparently. Didn't get the job. But I think it worked out pretty well for both them and me, lol. Walking into the cafeteria, food in hand, looking around trying to find a place to sit. Or alright guys, get in partners for this project and you just sit there with your eyes glued to the desk. So the building that I work in has an exclusive cafeteria, and by exclusive I mean that it is only for employees of the insurance company that occupies floors 10 through 18 of our building. It is not for us lowly administrative employees of a major cancer center that occupy floors 5 through 10. We have all heard rumors about this cafeteria and its delicious fresh food plated in a matter rivaling the fanciest Michelin star restaurants, all for low prices. So of course I had to go. The cafeteria is situated on the 15th floor. I got in the elevator only to find that one cannot access the 15th floor without a badge. The button simply will not press. Cue me riding up and down the elevator for 10 minutes until I was fortunate enough to ride with a chosen one with a badge. Sweet, forbidden cafeteria food awaits. So I casually follow this person off the elevator, lurking behind them as they badge into the cafeteria, which encompasses the entire floor in all its exclusive glory. I quietly slip in, wearing my own badge obscured by my cardigan so that it's obvious I'm wearing a badge but not so much what it is. Once inside I marvel over my choices. So much delicious food everywhere. A pasta station. Salad bar. A fresh grill. Fresh pizza. Daily specials. A carvery with an array of smoked meats. I'm in heaven as I blissfully make my way through my selections up to the cashier. At this point I'm terrified, thinking that she is going to ask to see my ID, but she does not. I pay for my food, a meager sum of $7 or $8 for a king's ransom in deliciousness, and thinking that I have pulled off the greatest heist of our time, I make a break for the exit. It was then that I discovered you do not only need a badge to get in, you also need to use your badge to get out. Here I am with my ill-begotten bounty and I am trapped. The door is locked and now heads are turning in my direction. They know. I have been discovered. My only recourse at that point was to hover, head down, around the condiment station, gathering random ketchups and soy sauce until some unsuspecting people decided to legitimately exit the cafeteria. I dashed out behind them, my face awash with embarrassment, and loitered in the hallway until they left in the elevator. At that point I returned to the 6th floor in shame and enjoyed my semi-cold forbidden food. That was when I felt like I truly did not belong in a cafeteria. A friend invited me to a party at his friend's place. Everyone was dressed in animal masks, not as in furries. This was like black tie formal but with people wearing realistic giraffe masks. My friend seemed confused that I was dressed normally. I do not speak to him anymore. I still don't know what the deal with that place was. I would be so pumped to wear like a ball gown and a dollar store flamingo mask. It sounds so cryptic and hilarious. I just dropped everything to pursue a career in art. It's been my dream to open up a shop and to just make things and paint. I've been drawing all of my life and I'm honestly not bad. A few weeks ago, I joined a local artist collective. The first meeting we were showing our art, and my heart dropped. Everyone had these gallery level social justice pieces and there I was with my greeting card and wedding art. I've always struggled with confidence and imposter syndrome, but that hit me hard just how out of my league this group was. I'm staying in it because I think it will challenge me to expand and grow, but damn do I feel incompetent every time I see them. I'm a college professor. Got my first job out of grad school, quit at the end of the second year. Found out while quitting that they were about to fire me. It was one of the 10 largest universities in the USA. Today I teach at a tiny liberal arts college. Been there over a decade, and they vote me Professor of the Year an average of once every 3 years. Here I fit. There I didn't. There was big, research driven, prestige hungry. Here, they want me to take good care of the students. That I can do. I love my job. I'm expat Dutch. Meaning I was born there, and have a passport. Moving to the Netherlands as a teenager for the first time did not go well. Teenagers are assholes, but even more so if you are any kind of foreign and don't speak the language perfectly. I came to Germany in 2017 with my MSc in environmental sciences from Hungary. A job to find was hard, so I had a plan B. I took a job by Deutsche Bahn, German Railways. I don't really know how to say it in English, but basically I control train stations and set routes for trains. Called Fahrdienstleiter in Germany, look it up if you want to. So I took the schooling. I had my first station, And as an apprentice or something like that, I had to go to the tracks and inform people about where their train comes. I felt pretty shitty. It's normally not part of the job. All the passengers were well-suited men and women, lots of offices around here, and I was in a dirty safety vest. I just felt that I belonged to them, not here. In the end I found myself here. My next job will be at the central station in Nuremberg, which is a pretty big deal, like a flight control tower with trains. If you can love trains. Edit. Thanks for the kind comments. I watched a lot of Pokemon when I was like 8. I went to a local anime convention and I was so confused and awkward. Everyone was in cosplay and talking about anime and I just sat there looking at my Pokemon cards all depressed. My first holiday in foster care was Christmas 2010. I was 14 years old, a freshman in high school. I missed my family and I didn't know anyone there except my foster parents. I felt completely like an alien amongst 50 people. I was young, scared, and alone. I went on my phone and my foster mom raised her voice and told me to get off. That made me snap and I started tearing up, so I went outside in the cold to cry by myself so I wouldn't make a scene. I cried behind a car in the dark in the snow that fell a few days prior. This old man comes outside and calmly talks to me. He tells me that he used to be in foster care too. I don't remember what he said exactly, but he made me laugh and feel a little better. That old man turned out to be who I would call Grandpa Ernie a few years down the road. He passed away a couple springs ago. He always made sure everyone felt welcomed and always would break tension silence with a joke that made everyone laugh. He went through his own hell growing up and he did his best to make sure no one else had to. In southwestern Australia, I was there working for a bit and went out with some locals. We were walking home from the bar when one of them said he wanted to go for a bit of a longer walk, so we detoured around another block. Suddenly we were walking through the bush and then we pop out the other side near this sketchy house. A really sketchy dude comes out, looks at me and asks one of the guys who I am. They say I'm Canadian and he asks me a few questions, presumably to hear my accent. Then they hand him a few $100s and he hands them a few small bags of drugs. On the way home, the guys I'm with stop, open up one of the bags and smash the contents up on a rock and snort it. I politely decline. Suddenly everyone I'm with is high on meth. Once I was familiar with the area we were in, I got the fuck out of there. Recently moved to China due to work. China is fine and all, food is exceptionally nice, and the general cost of living is significantly lower. Although I do speak some Mandarin and am somewhat familiar with China due to my mother being Chinese, I do often feel the differences, like how alien this culture here is to me. It's a very odd feeling, seeing all these people that look the same as me, yet completely different. In 2007 I went to what I thought was my first AA meeting. It was being held at a church, and when I walked into where the meeting was supposed to take place there was 5-6 other men sitting down. I took a seat, and after a couple of moments pass, the meeting starts. If my memory is correct, I was asked to introduce myself, so I said, "My name is and I'm an alcoholic." After a few moments, one of the men let me know that I was at a Sex Addicts Anonymous meeting. I apologized and left. Felt really weird about it at the time, but now I just laugh about it. The ball at my college the week before graduation. People have compared it to college prom. I never wanted to go, but I won a free ticket in a raffle, so I couldn't pass up saving $90. Doesn't mean I fit in there though. Work mostly. I hate my job because of the toxic environment and co-workers. And in large groups of people where I don't know anybody. I was at a low point in my life. Unemployed, no support, hungry and dressed in worn working class clothing. I was out with a buddy who had as little class as I did at the time. We somehow had managed to find a few dollars and figured we should go have a drink. Unfortunately the place we went to was full of sailors. Not burly longshoremen, not Popeye and not shifty-eyed cutthroats. No, these were the kind of sailors that owned and raced yachts. We go in, walk out to the patio and stop. Everyone there was white. Everyone there was dressed in white. The entire patio went quiet, and literally everyone stared at us. We immediately turned tail and left. I think we ended up sharing a bottle of cheap wine under a bridge that day. Funny thing is, I bet we had much more fun under that bridge than we would have had surrounded by all those clean young snarticles. After work party with my colleagues. We were just eating some snacks before heading home, but I realized I had nothing in common with any of them. I never wished so hard to have said no to something I was invited. I went to an alternative school, everyone was goth and I was just a normal kid that was playing sports and stuff and wearing colorful clothes with kids in all black. I had just started a waitressing job, and while I was waiting to interview I actually saw a grow of the waitstaff looking at me and whispering to each other. I needed the job so I didn't care. In hindsight I should have got up and walked right out. I was hired but failed the menu test and had to retake it. The manager told them and they started bugging me about it. I worked there part-time for about 2 years and they would bully and harass me every chance they got. I was a good worker, polite, and helped them any way I could, but they still ostracized me. That was 4 years ago and I still can't wrap my head around what could have made them hate me so much.